Tai Chi can look almost too gentle to count as exercise. No heavy weights, no sprinting, no dramatic effort. So why does this slow practice keep appearing in research on balance, stress, aging, joint pain, breathing, and quality of life? A common assumption is that fitness has to look intense to matter. Sweat feels convincing, speed feels convincing, strain feels convincing. Tai Chi asks a quieter question. What if control is also a form of training? The useful reframe is this. Tai Chi is not just gentle movement, it is slow movement with attention, posture, breathing, weight shifting, and repeated control. The effort is less visible, but it is still work. Historically, Tai Chi comes from Chinese martial, meditative, and philosophical traditions. Words like yin and yang or qi belong to that older language. The modern evidence question is different. What does the practice train in the body and mind? A good way to understand the evidence is to see three layers working together. One layer is movement, one is attention, one is breath and stress regulation. Most of the health claims make more sense when we keep those layers connected. First, the movement layer. Tai Chi repeatedly shifts weight from one leg to another. The knees bend slightly, the hips adjust, the feet keep sensing the floor. That can train the lower body without the hard impact of many exercises. That is why Tai Chi should not be treated as simple stretching. Some stretches are passive. Tai Chi is active. The body is constantly making tiny corrections to stay upright, smooth, and controlled. Those tiny corrections matter because balance is partly a sensing problem. The body needs information from the feet, joints, eyes, and inner ear. Tai Chi gives that system repeated practice at listening and responding. The low-impact nature is also important. For people who are older, deconditioned, living with joint pain, or returning to movement, a practice that can be adapted may be easier to keep doing. Flexibility may improve, especially in people who were not very active before. But the stronger idea is movement quality. Tai Chi trains the body to move slowly, feel position, and organize motion with less rush. This is where the evidence becomes stronger. Across systematic reviews, Tai Chi is often linked with better balance and fewer falls in older adults living in the community. That does not make it magic. It makes the training target clear. A fall often begins with a small loss of control. Tai Chi practices that edge safely. Shift, pause, rotate, recover. Again and again, the body rehearses losing balance a little and finding it again. That helps explain the balance findings. Static balance is holding steady. Dynamic balance is staying organized while moving. Tai Chi quietly trains both, because stillness and motion keep alternating. The same idea reaches the brain. Tai Chi is physical, but it also asks for attention. You follow a sequence, control timing, remember direction, and notice body position. That may be why studies link it with attention and processing speed in older adults. For mild cognitive impairment and dementia, reviews suggest Tai Chi may improve executive function more than physical activity alone. But Alzheimer's specific evidence is still limited, so this should be read as promising, not proven. Some studies also connect long-term practice with memory and changes around the hippocampus. That is interesting, but it does not mean Tai Chi reverses cognitive decline. It means the movement and attention pattern is worth taking seriously. Now the stress layer. Tai Chi is sometimes presented as mysterious, but one grounded explanation is simple. Slow breathing, present moment attention, and smoother movement may help the body practice shifting out of high alert. Research has linked Tai Chi with lower anxiety, fewer depressive symptoms, and better psychological well-being in some groups. The strongest interpretation is not that Tai Chi fixes mood. It is that the practice may support the systems involved in stress. Researchers sometimes describe this through autonomic and neuroendocrine pathways. In plain language, that means heart rhythm, stress hormones, breathing, and nervous system tone may all be part of the picture. Sleep research points in a similar direction. Reviews suggest Tai Chi can improve self-reported sleep quality in older adults, and some studies connect the change with inflammatory and genomic markers. Again, that is not the same as a sleep cure. The key point is that the mental and physical parts are not separate boxes. Stress changes breath, muscle tone, balance, heart rate, and sleep. A practice that touches those systems at once may have broader effects than it first appears. For arthritis and joint health, the evidence is especially practical. Reviews suggest Tai Chi can reduce pain and stiffness and improve function, particularly in knee osteoarthritis. It is even conditionally recommended by the American College of Rheumatology for hand, hip, and knee osteoarthritis. For cardiovascular health, studies have linked Tai Chi with lower systolic and diastolic blood pressure, improved heart rate variability, and benefits in cardiac rehabilitation. Gentle does not mean trivial when the practice is repeated consistently. For respiratory health, the evidence is notable in COPD. Reviews have found improvements in 6-minute walk distance, breathlessness, and lung function measures such as FEV1. The movement is gentle, but the breath training is central. Parkinson's disease and stroke recovery show another pattern. Tai Chi may help balance, gait, motor control, and quality of life. In Parkinson's research, one long follow-up found slower motor deterioration among regular practitioners compared with a control group. Cancer survivors, people with fibromyalgia, and people with low back pain have also reported improvements in fatigue, pain, function, or quality of life in studies. Here, Tai Chi is best understood as complementary support, not as a primary treatment. The broad pattern is not that Tai Chi treats everything. The broad pattern is that low-impact, repeatable, attention-rich movement can matter in conditions where balance, breath, pain, stress, and confidence affect daily life. This is where the story needs care. For diabetes, one study found better fasting glucose compared with fitness walking in older adults with type 2 diabetes and mild cognitive impairment. But systematic reviews have not shown a clear direct effect on HbA1c. Bone health is similar. Tai Chi may help reduce falls, which matters enormously for fracture risk. But evidence for directly improving bone mineral density is mixed, and combining Tai Chi with resistance training may be more useful for bone strength. It also matters that Tai Chi is not one single thing. Chen style can include more explosive movements. Yang style is usually gentler and flowing. Other styles use different stances and rhythms. The exact practice changes the exact training effect. So the balanced view respects the tradition without turning tradition into evidence. Philosophy can explain the meaning of the practice. Research has to ask what changes, in whom, compared with what, and by how much. Tai Chi is low impact, but that does not mean every version suits every person. People with high fall risk, recent stroke, neurological conditions, major pain, or unstable medical symptoms may need an adapted class and professional guidance. Starting does not require mastering a full sequence on day one. The basics are simple: space to move, comfortable clothing, flat shoes, slow breathing, a soft knee bend, and attention to where the body is in space. The name forms can sound poetic. Grasp the sparrow's tail, single whip. The crane spreads its wings, wave hands in the clouds. Under the names, the job is repeated control, direction, timing, and body awareness. Consistency is more important than performance. A person does not need to look graceful for Tai Chi to be useful. The value comes from returning to the movement often enough for balance, attention, and breath to become trained habits. A sensible expectation is gradual change. Balance may feel steadier, movement may feel less rushed, stress may become easier to notice, sleep or pain may improve for some people. None of this needs to be sold as transformation. The better map is this. Tai Chi is a slow, attention-rich movement practice. Its evidence is strongest where balance, fall prevention, movement control, stress regulation, pain, breathing, and quality of life are part of the problem. It is not proof of every claim. It is not a replacement for medical care. And it is not too gentle to matter. The more careful conclusion is that gentle movement can still be biologically and psychologically active. For the full article and supporting references, the BeSund link is in the description. The useful takeaway is not that everyone must practice Tai Chi. It is that slow, careful movement can train more systems than it appears to from the outside.